Hi YouTube, so today I will be comparing the original Nintendo DS to the evolution of it, the Nintendo DS Lite. So I'm aware that it is 2 years later since this thing came out, but I was pretty bored so I felt like doing this anyway. So, the original Nintendo DS, it's kind of got this weird curve thing on top. It doesn't feel very good when you run your hand over it, and this wacky, funky hinge thing is just downright ugly. So you even see it while you're playing too. So, they've got these huge speakers that take up almost half of the top side of the screen. I mean the top of the DS, whatever. But it's also got these buttons. Make a really distinct noise. You probably can't hear it as well. And the power button, which is right here. Okay, let's see. We've also got our GBA slot, volume, headphone, and something else. I think it's important, but whatever. So on the back here, we have stylus, SD card, no, whatever you call it, DS card slot, and the charger. As for the Nintendo DS Lite, you can tell that it is a lot slimmer. It's like cutting like a third of it off. So, if we look at the bottom, it's got the headset and the thing that I think is important. It's also got this little fill card for that, so that when you're not playing a game, it doesn't like stick out or anything, and you don't get dust in there. Volume switch. It's actually a little different than this volume switch, but I find it easier to use because if you notice, this one has a little ledge over it. You can't get your finger on it all the way. But this one, you can just kind of move your finger over and it moves. Okay, so it's also the new location of the stylus, because the other one, you had to reach all the way back here, and when you want to put it back, the slot was so small that you had to, like turn your DS around and look at it. Or at least I did. But that all changed when the DS Lite came out. It is conveniently placed on the side, and it got a little fatter, but that just makes it a lot easier to hold. And I can put it back in without even looking. So that's pretty good. The buttons also are not like, well, they don't make a clicking sound, and you can tell when you've pushed it. On the others, I could press the button and not even know, and then something would happen. Also, the control pad can rotate, not rotate, but you can press down on it in the diagonals and it works almost like a joystick. Whereas, for this one, you can't do that as well, so it's good for playing certain games that were made to have an analog stick. Then, if you take a look back here, you can see that the stylus isn't there, of course, and the charger, which is a different charger. I did get a little annoyed because I couldn't use my Game Boy Advance charger, so I only had one of these. And, let's see. Take a look at the bottom. It's not as crummy as this one because there isn't a sticker. And I don't know. Well, okay, so then Nintendo DS Lite is also created for its brightness. So if we take a look at both brightnesses, let's see, this one looks pretty good. If I hadn't seen the DS Lite, I would have thought this was pretty bright. So then, if we turn on DS Lite, oh, sound's on there, okay. It is a lot brighter. This thing has 4 settings of light. This has 2. One, you can't see it at all, like the old Game Boy Advance. and the other is just this. For this one, its lowest setting is practically this one's highest setting. So then you can go up, go up, go up. And yeah, it works out fine. As you can see, they're both, well, this one's pretty good, but still, this is just so much better. Okay. Power switch is a little harder to get to on that one, but at least you don't accidentally turn it off while you're playing. So then, I guess I have a game in this one. Let's just see. Okay, Super Mario 64. Okay. While you're playing a game on the DS Lite, and you've had this original one, you may notice things that you haven't seen before because of the color difference. So like for Super Mario 64 DS, you see colors that weren't there before. As you can see, looks pretty good. I've also noticed that the touch screen is a lot better. As you can see, you can control with the touch screen. Woo. If you want to see more of this game, check out my review of it. Okay, so then, let's show it on the original Nintendo DS. I always feel like I'm going to break this off every time I open it, because it makes that weird clicking noise. Oh, and as you can see on this one, there is a clicking noise, but it doesn't feel like the thing's going to lift right off. Oh, and I forgot to point out that the hinges are different. Okay, let's see. As you can see, it is a lot different. It appears that there's less color, and it looks like crap after we've just looked at the other one. Touchscreen still works fine. Well, okay. So, I bought this DS in 2004 when it like first came out, or it was like beginning of 2005, I can't really remember. But it was like 4 years ago, and it still works perfectly. This, I just got a month ago, and they just released the new DS, so I'm a little annoyed by that, but still. This one, I traded in my Game Boy Advance so I could get this one for $90, which was a bargain because I never used my Game Boy Advance. Oh, and another thing I gotta point out, hold on, let me get a game. Let's see. Mario Kart. This game looks like crap after I played the DS version. Okay. So, if you, hold on. If you stick it in that, you can pretty much not feel any difference when you run your hand over it. But, as you can see, the one that fits in there is like half the size here. So that means it sticks out a little, but it doesn't get in the way of your hands at all. But when you've got one of those internet surfing packs in there, it's just like a giant, looks like it has a huge chin. So that pretty much wraps up my comparison. So the Nintendo DS Lite is much better. This used to be good, but now it's crap. So check back when the new DSi comes out in 2009, because I will have the full DS Evolution chain, and I hope to compare that and this one. So, goodbye. Check out my other videos sometime.